Alright, Schlockmeister fans, moving on to the Trauma Triple B Header Volume 4. This one's called The Nightmare Never Ends. Let's watch. Here's our couple, Claire and James Hansen. James Hansen you might recognize as Richard Mall.
We are taking a
Night Court's Bull.
Too.
He's an author.
Because nobody reads there or watches television.
Concentrate on the middle of your
Claire is at some sort of clairvoyant show in Las Vegas. And suddenly we see Nazis. Hungry Nazis. Musical Nazis. Male and female beer drinking Nazis. What does it all mean?
I bring a message from the Führer. You haven't met your quota for the last 3 weeks.
Again, what does this all mean? I have no freaking clue. Back to Vegas, and the clairvoyant guy who was running that show is having some sort of, I don't know, heart attack? Some sort of life-ending event.
Does that mean anything to you?
Moloch is the name of an ancient demon. He was one of Satan's generals in the plot to overthrow God.
Well, anyway, it's a blind alley. We'll check.
Meanwhile, we have a Jewish Holocaust survivor recognizing somebody he sees on TV. A young fellow. Apparently he recognizes as one of the bad Germans in the concentration camp 40 years earlier, which is, of course, impossible based on the age. That's the cop, Cameron Mitchell. He wants him to arrest him.
Because all this happened many years ago in Germany. We have no jurisdiction.
Jurisdiction to arrest an animal who killed my family?
Cameron Mitchell is not convinced, of course, for obvious reasons.
Why you stop?
No, let me
What's the
think.
matter?
That guy you pointed out is in his 20s, right?
Yeah, so.
And all this happened 35 years ago in Germany. Man, I must be losing my marbles. Mr. Weiss, I'm taking you home.
The old Jew, Mr. Weiss, is played by Mark Lawrence, who has dual roles in this movie. Because this role as Mr. Weiss is about to come to an end here.
Sweetheart, look now.
Mr. Weiss's body.
This tattoo is a Nazi concentration camp identification number.
That's Claire Hansen
But this
again.
666 occurred at the time of his death. Papers in his wallet show he was a Nazi hunter.
I don't know how he could determine the 666
Okay.
appeared at his death.
And if there is a God, what will happen to you?
Devout Catholic there.
I suppose I'll go to hell.
Author who wrote a book, God is Dead,
James
as her husband.
Hansen, Nobel Prize winner, author of the book God is Dead.
Is he one of us?
Not yet.
Then why does he serve us?
There is a new plague spreading throughout the Western world.
He meets this guy, Papini.
Sit down, Mr. Papini. What can I do for you, Mr. Papini?
It's what I can do for you, Doctor.
He wants to help.
All right, what can you do for me?
Protect him.
You're on the way to hell.
If you would read my book, you would realize that this is all wasted on me.
It is fine.
Hey, what are you doing here,
So Papini hangs out by the Hansens' dumpster in order to protect him from the devil.
What are you doing here?
The Hansens live here.
Hey, we know the Hansens. Do you?
I'm protecting Mr. Hansen.
From who?
The devil.
The devil? Let's go, buddy. Come on.
So our devil guy operates his devilish business and conducts his devilish business outside of a disco he owns. Naturally. Our devil is named Olivier. Does that mean he's half goat?
She is coming back.
That girl who was with the devil is
still gotta wait.
named Annie. Here's her boyfriend, wondering where the hell she went.
Is there anything
Cameron Mitchell
else?
goes to
Yeah,
interrogate Olivier about Annie.
there is something else. Yes? Ever hear of a man named Weiss? A 70-year-old Jew.
No.
He seemed to know you.
So?
I don't know if this is a dream or what, but Annie's boyfriend is hell-bent on revenge. He's got a gun.
One question.
I don't know.
You are deeply religious?
There goes to see a fortune teller.
Then for you,
She's worried about her
Satan
husband.
is not a character in a horror story, but a real person. He can never touch you, but he can reach your husband.
I'm not sure what's happening here, but Claire is now having closet problems. And just like that, it's all gone.
Indeed, it now appears
The devil likes
that
this guy.
Jesus Christ, as we know him in the scriptures, never existed. The Christ that we have come to know was invented by men for their own purposes. In fact, there is not a single written reference to a man called Jesus in existence today, other than the literary creations of the authors of the Gospels and the New Testament. Alone, there is no God to help us. So let us build our own paradise. God is dead. You must be Mr.
The devil
Olivier.
wants to recruit Mr. Hansen.
We want you to join our organization, Doctor.
I have to know a great deal more about it.
Oh, you know all about us. We too believe God is dead.
Just who are
Mr. Hansen's not really interested, so Olivier has no use for him.
Eyes of God, I command you to tell me your name.
That's the helper guy,
I am Ishtar.
and that's Ishtar.
It's you! Who sent you in the name of God? I command you to answer.
The Master sent me.
Somehow Ishtar makes him basically blow away. He's found dead the next day. Cameron Mitchell found something interesting.
Peter, that's World War I, 1914.
Olivier's been around.
Time ago. Now look over here. Yes, over here. That's the Franco-Prussian War of 1870.
There's Mark Lawrence as Dieter, who's helping out Cameron Mitchell. Not sure what he's dying of here, but could be the fumes from the backseat. Wow. So Claire Hansen's going to take it upon herself to try to kill Olivier. So she and Ann stuff him in the back of their car, her car, and then she takes him to the hospital where she decides to work on him. I don't know what's going on or why she's arguing with her. So Olivier is not having a good reaction to this. That's his heart, I guess. I don't know what the end goal here is. So she like rips out his heart or something and puts it in a microwave or something. I don't know what. But then, it looks like he has transferred himself into the body of the other girl. Now Olivier's back. And that's how our film ends. Alright, let's talk about this movie. The Nightmare Never Ends, aka Cataclysm. Back in the 80s, when I used to rent movies and copy them, I used to go to the horror sections in video stores and write down all the movies and the running times, and then I'd take them home and try to figure out how I could cram all these on as most efficiently as possible. 3 movies on 1 beta tape, that sort of thing. 4 on a VHS tape once I got into taping on VHS and EP speed. A movie I came across occasionally was Cataclysm. Wasn't that any of my local video stores, because I pretty much drained all of those, but my fellow Schlockmeister Jeff in Milwaukee had access to more stores stores, and we came across Cataclysm every once in a while, and I always planned to get it. I just never did, never got around to it. Never saw it until today, actually, as it's known as The Nightmare Never Ends on this Troma title. And I was really looking forward to this because Troma, a lot of these Toxies, Triple Terror, and these Triple Beheader things are a lot of cheap movies from the mid to late 90s, even in the 2000s. They're just mostly garbage films. I thought, oh, well, here we have a legitimate 1980s horror movie, 1980 actually, and maybe it's halfway decent. Troma just picked it up later on. But no, this movie's actually an incoherent mess. We have a devil running around named Olivier. He's been around for hundreds of years, and he's spotted by this guy named Weiss, this Jewish concentration camp survivor. Says, that's the guy, that's the guy. Of course, the cop doesn't believe him. Cameron Mitchell is the cop. Cop doesn't believe him because the guy looks exactly the same as he did in 1942, and it's 40 years later. He can't possibly be the same guy. Of course, he is, because he's a devil, and he doesn't age at all. And he's also being helped out by Mark Lawrence, and the two of them are trying to get to the bottom of this. Meanwhile, we have a subplot here with Richard Mall from Night Court. He's an author who's wrote a book called God is Dead. I think that's what it was called. And him and his wife is like a devout Catholic, and she doesn't like the fact that he's written this book about it. Anyway, this movie is all over the place. First of all, this devil guy, Olivier, runs his devil business out of a local disco, so there's always some funky music playing. And I don't even know exactly what was going on in this movie. I guess they were trying to, between the cop, Cameron Mitchell, and Mark Lawrence, and eventually Claire Hansen, who plays the wife of the guy who wrote the God is Dead book, they're trying to get this devil guy and kill him. And they almost seem to do it at the end there in that hospital, where they run over him with a car, drag him to the hospital, and then like cut up his heart or something. But the next thing you know, he transfers himself into the female who was there, the nurse or whatever it was who was stabbing him. I don't understand what's going on in this movie. It's a mess. It's an absolute mess. Could have used some nude scenes to spice it up a bit, but we don't even get one single boob in this thing. So, there is a couple of actually decent gore scenes, though, especially the end there when they're chopping up his heart and stuff, but doesn't make up for the 90 minutes of crap prior to that. So anyway, it's called Cataclysm, otherwise known as The Nightmare Never Ends. You can get it on this Troma Triple Beheader Volume 4, and that's it. If you've seen this mess, let me know. Leave some comments down below. We'll talk about it. It's called The Nightmare Never Ends, a.k.a. Cataclysm. Check it out. Bye.